Hi, this is Sean, and this channel's called Wolf Dog Moon. And today we're going to be reviewing Rogue One, a Star Wars story. If you like this kind of content, smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel for more, ring the bell for notifications, comment down below, and share with your friends. Alright, let's get into this. Alright, so here we got Rogue One, a Star Wars story, one of the Disney-fied versions of the Star Wars adventure style movies. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you with this one, and this video may be a little bit controversial to some, and it may not be to others, but I'm just going to let you know right off the bat, this is a good movie. So if you're expecting me to say that this is a horrible movie or whatever, then it's not. It's a good movie. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit. The Disney Star Wars movies on a whole, first of all, they're all imitations. You have the original 3 movies, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi. Those are the core of the Star Wars saga. So the George Lucas, those are like that's the quintessential Star Wars, and it's also the true Star Wars in a lot of ways. Everything else that came after that is either a prequel, and it's trying to it gets it wrong at the concept level, and similarly the Disney-fied or Disney Star Wars, they get it wrong at the concept level. What they do get right is they get the sound, they get it to sound like Star Wars, they get it to look like Star Wars, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars in most of the ones that Disney has done, with the exception of this one. And again, the Disney ones especially, they're an imitation, and so they're always gonna be an other. They're like an alternative to the true Star Wars movies, which were those original 3 that I mentioned. And so these essentially, they feel like, okay, a what if kind of story, an alternate universe, if you want to say, or just, okay, this is a continuation, but not really. And that's what most of Disney Star Wars feels like, with the exception of this one. Now, what this one does well is that it basically acts as a sort of what if story, where it takes place between around the original Star Wars movie, where it's mentioned in one of the main battle meetings that, as far as the plans that they have acquired from the droids for the Death Star. And so the people that were able to get those plans, they had to risk life and limb to do it. And so this kind of gives you a bit of okay, what if you got to see how that was done? So you don't need to see this movie. That's one of the flaws in pretty much all the Disney Star Wars movies, and also the prequels. The prequels, the Phantom Menace, the Attack of the Clones, and the Revenge of the Sith. You don't need to see those movies, because the problem's at the concept level. The true hero's journey takes place in the 3 original Star Wars movies, and they have a beginning and an end, and there's really not a continuation. It has a definitive ending, The Return of the Jedi. And so, but with this, you get a kind of a neat kind of what if story, where you got to go along with this band of, and again, this video is going to be, this review is going to be spoiler free, and you get to follow along with this motley crew of cast of characters with interesting, colorful aspects to them, as they team up with this the protagonist, Jyn Erso, and her her quest to vindicate her father. So that's how this plays out. And so what you essentially have here is a heist movie, similar to something like The Dirty Dozen, or like Ocean's 11, where you have these different kind of almost misfit characters with unique traits that enable them as a team, and through grit and guts and determination and belief, they're able to do something that is impossible, or it's impossible odds what they have to try to pull off. And this movie does it in a really cool way. Now, what's interesting about this this movie is, if you watch the original trailer that was released for this movie, a lot of the scenes in that trailer never made it into the final movie. And in that original trailer, it's presented as a much darker movie, kind of like in the vein of something like The Dirty Dozen, which takes place during World War II, or that era. And they have to do this dangerous heist, these different colorful characters that come together, and they all have unique abilities and they have a quirkiness to them, and that is in here too for this particular movie. Now, so right away they must have made a lot of changes, at the end of the production quickly, to like, this movie had a lot of production issues where I think they even fired the director and they brought in another director to try to finish this movie the way that Disney wanted it to be done. And so you have a little bit of a Frankenstein's monster with this movie, where some of the concepts in terms of particularly the Jyn Erso character, she sometimes doesn't make sense as a character as a result of them creating this mishmash of directors and stuff, and different directions on how they wanted this character to go. At first, she was edgier, which is what she would actually be, because again, I don't want to spoil it for you, but this character would be edgy, and they take away some of the edge and they try to make her softer and more like the Rey Skywalker character, for example. And that ends up being a little bit of a mistake, but there's enough left over in this movie that they get right despite those changes, that you have a fun movie here, that you get to go on this cool quest with these guys and see how they overcome these impossible odds, and you have an awesome adventure story here. And this is a good movie. There are easily correctable flaws in this movie that could have made this an even better movie, but it's a good movie. And it now the Disney movies as a whole, I personally don't think that they count. Like I said, they're imitations, and in a lot of ways they're poor imitations of the Star Wars universe. But this one does a much better job of feeling like Star Wars and less like an imitation. And when it is imitating, it's doing it in a respectful way, and I think that's what makes this one good. It makes it fun to watch, and you get to go on this awesome hero's journey as a result. And you get to get behind this Jyn Erso character and all these other characters. You have some kind of Japanese type aspects, the samurai warrior, and you have a blending of different you have some steampunk elements in here, and then you have some different motivations of some different factions trying to assert themselves as the empire is growing into their power and stuff. So it's pretty cool in that way. And so again, this movie has easily correctable problems, but there is kind of an agenda that's attached to this movie and a lot of the Disney content, where they can, as a result, break the characters. What I call it is postmodernist deconstructivism. There's postmodernist deconstructivism in this, but it's not as apparent, and there's enough good stuff in this movie to overcome those easily corrected flaws. And in fact, this is one of those movies where if you turned it off with about 10 minutes to go or 15 minutes to go, around that time frame, this would be a better movie than it ends up being. But again, this is still a good movie. So I hope that this video has helped you in some way. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. And in the meantime, we hope that this video finds you having an amazing day. And we hope that you have a blessed day and that your spirits remain high.